Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. Look what we have here. It's triple decker. No, this should be really fun. So I grabbed out Metabarons, Jodorowsky, and Juan Gimenez. I grabbed out some Enki Bilal. And these look like they're stories that he did in 1974 to 1977. And then this is Jodorowsky and Moebius. Yes, yes, yes. Jean Giraud. So I think the order that I'm going to do it is let's go through the Jimenez stuff first. And I'd like to welcome you all. Super Fun Sunday. What's it going to be? It's going to be super fun. And, okay, so quick update on Blaster Kid. This will just take a second. I said that I was going to launch it on Monday. I definitely need to plan more, and I'll explain why really, really quick. Is just a friend of mine who's been a part of a couple of the campaigns was like, just fire it off, like just go for it. But I have to really financially plan the tiers well, because look, the worst thing that could ever happen is I raise X amount of dollars and all of a sudden I haven't planned properly for it. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to be disappointed because I didn't calculate the shipping right, or the whatever it is. You know what I mean? And there's I need to talk to my accountant. So what I'm going to do is on Monday, though, we're going to start a direct dialogue about the book, and I'm going to basically get feedback from all of you. And I should be doing YouTube videos. I'll say somewhere between 4 and 6 times a week. There'll be a free tier on my Patreon where you can see art updates. So I am getting it rolling, but what I'll do is just give me a certain amount of time to just make sure that I have all the perks and tiers dialed in, the right amounts for things, and then just let me talk to my accountant about taxes for it. That's all. So it's not a big deal. I actually worked on it all day yesterday. I drew for about 8 hours, so it went well. All right, so now Metabarons, Juan Gimenez. I first saw his work probably at Wildstorm. I can't remember exactly what the evolution of it was. I'm pretty notorious for if I go into a comic book store, I really kind of flip through everything. It can be really time consuming, but like if they have a back issue bin and it's got old heavy metal magazines, I'll if the store's nice enough to let me do it, I'll open just about every single issue and flip through them and kind of see if there was anything that I liked, and then I would buy the ones that I liked. I do that with comics too. I love comic books, and so when I first started collecting, on New Comic Book Day, I would flip through every single comic and I would just check it out. And if something was interesting, I didn't care who published it, what, if it was black and white or what. If it had cool art and it looked like a story that I wanted to read, I would buy it. And so I have a really interesting collection just based on that alone. But Jimenez is very, very famous, and this is beautiful, beautiful work. So let's get rolling on this. And this will be stuff that some people haven't seen before. I'd almost guarantee it. There's a really great art of book that they did of his that you can find, and I would highly recommend it. It's really, really cool. It kind of has a cover similar to this, but I think it's a girl on the cover. But it's really, really good. But yeah, so me growing up in California, obviously. I wouldn't be as familiar with humanoids and all of that stuff when this was going on. I'm not sure what year he did this book. I can check really quick. Let's just see, out of curiosity, if I can find a date. 1992. So it looks like this book was collected in 2003, but the work may have been done in 92. So I wasn't even collecting comics at that point. But yeah, I always like this character for some reason. But yeah, Jimenez is great. When they do these graphic albums, generally the artist does all the work. So it's most times they pencil, ink, and paint it, or take it to a pretty finished point. Man, that is beautiful. Oh man, he is so good. That planet and the ship is great. Yeah, that is really nice. We're going to have to hustle a little bit. Oh, that's really cool, too. shoot, I hope we can get through all these. If worst case scenario is we'll do two, and I can do a follow up later of the Moebius book because I've done Moebius before. I actually realized that I had done that steampunk book partially before, and it was only a few months ago. But I I did say in the video that it's like I always seem to find that book if I'm looking for a steampunk, and the other trade I just always seem to never can spot it. But it's okay. The video is different. I think I said different stuff, so that's what you want anyway. It's really interesting seeing this stuff now. I mean, if you look closely, it's like, you can kind of try to see if you see underdrawing and whatnot because, you figure he penciled this. Looks like it was painted and then inked or I see what looks like line work, and then I don't know what medium he colored this in. It could be gouache, could be acrylic, and I mean, in theory, it could be oil or watercolor too. It's really, really, maybe someone knows. The other thing I wanted to ask too was, for people maybe outside the U.S., how strong is the graphic novel album scene right now? Is it something that you all anticipate, and are there some favorite books that you follow? Usually these books come out yearly, like they do one 60-page book in a year. And yeah, I'd be really curious. I'm trying to get a page count for Blaster Kid together too, because it's always been a story that could be longer or more direct, meaning that like the adventure could be it could have less pit stops along the way, or it could be like the expedited approach to it. I don't know what level of patience people have for a series. Do you want a one and done? And again, that will be all stuff that we'll start talking about on Monday, because like everyone's feedback will be really, really helpful to lock that in. This is nice, man. So inspiring. If you know Ledron's work, Ledron definitely is a big Gimenez fan. These guys make it look so logical when you see how well they do stuff. But then you try it on your own, and it's like, ouch, okay, it's a little harder than it looks. But yeah, they make it look so like, oh yeah, of course, you would do it like that. I always love how he did this stone. And I can always do that art of book that I have of his. It was nice, because I had sort of started to straighten up my storage and kind of library area, which is huge. I have like 9 huge bookshelves full of comics and graphic novels on top of a bunch of long boxes and short boxes of comics. But I have a graphic novel section, like these albums, and it's really cool. Like it's like I have my own little mini comic book store in my storage, and it's all stuff that I like. A little bit of stuff I don't like. Have to go through it, find those books, and purge them. Oh man, this is so cool. I'm really curious to see the Bilal book, because I flipped through it before. Bilal is very Moebius inspired, but he ended up doing his own thing later on. Yeah, I'm curious of what that early work will look like. I'm sure I flipped through the book before, but it's really nice. I'm trying to have my camera autofocus. He gets these really cool little subtle colors. Like if you look at the this guy's arm right here, like that little touch of blue. I think it's a little purple in here, and sometimes that can be incidental. It can be like the graphite comes up a little bit into the paint and causes a little bit of a hue to show up. You have all sorts of little kind of happy accidents, when you're laying down color, and color is mixing with other color, and sometimes you just see color that you think will look cool there, and if you've got a pretty good mental library of things that you've seen that are good, your choices should be decent. There really is an important part of being, I think, an artist is having that mental catalog of things that you've seen that have been done well, and it's amazing how you can utilize it as you get better with your art. I found drawing that heavy metal story that I did recently. Like I drew one. There wasn't a lot of humans in my story that you could see their faces, which was good. It was good and bad. I mean, definitely would have been cooler to have more shots of like people, like their faces. But I had to do one panel with the lead character where you really saw her, and I was a little nervous about it because I had already done some pages, and I was like, oh man, like the first time that I actually have to draw a person, like man, I can't screw this up because this is really what it's about and what you're gonna what people are gonna relate to. And it was so easy to draw it, and it was like I was pulling stuff out of my memory so well, and it was I still don't believe that I can do it. Like I get nervous when I have to like do it a little bit, because it's like I remember so many times that I failed on it, that it's like you have to settle into like, no, those are old memories. That's not how you are now. But yeah, it's like, that's why I encourage people. It's like, don't get stuck in the sketchbook. You need to just start drawing pages, because that's going to give you more confidence. Because any sketch can look like it has, like significant potential. But if you can't flesh it out, then you're kind of like, and it's really fun designing the costumes and environments and stuff for Blasterkin. I'm really enjoying that part of it too. The colors and stuff, and that's another thing too. Is my black and white art is pretty strong, but do people want a color book? And if I'm gonna bring a colorist on, like, is that like a tier? Like if I get to X amount of dollars, then I can afford a colorist, or you know what I mean? Like again, it wasn't so simple as just getting it up and going like, all right, we're gonna go for it, and then I'll figure it out over the next 60 days. So it's really nice. Stuff like this is actually not that hard to draw if you have decent perspective and can draw people. The little scenes like that can actually be kind of fun, and a little bit of a break from other things. This is nice. So this looks like it's going to be a 60-page book, maybe. And some of these characters you may recognize from, if you've seen Travis's Metabaron book. He drew this little robot guy. And obviously he did the Metabaron, so... Yeah, for anyone that collects graphic novels and the albums now, please let me know what's out there that you think is really, really good. I would be very curious to check it out. In fact, I would be really excited to, because I'm always looking for different stuff, and I don't get to go to the comic book store like I used to. And then on top of it, you don't know that they're going to order this stuff. I got pretty lucky because Wildstorm at one point paired up with, I think, Humanoids, and started reprinting a lot of these books in English. And so what ended up happening is they sent them all the European editions, and over a period of time, as they would go through the books and do their translations, they would have all these basically sitting around, and on very fortuitous days, I would walk by the orphan box where people would dump books that they didn't want or need at the studio, and there would be like a stack of these graphic novels. And I was like, yoinks, I will take them. So, and a lot of times they would just give them to me, honestly. I would say that more the editors that we're working on would just be like, hey, there's a big stack of books by the door. If you want any of them, just take them, because we don't need them. And so, unfortunately, they're not in English. I wasn't grabbing the English translations, but look, if you can get a book with drawings like this in it for free, sign me up every time. Like, I can always find something good in anything, and you guys know me from this too, as I say this, like, some of the artist edition books that I've spent, $70 to $110 on aren't artists that I'm that into. But if I think that there's an opportunity for me to learn from them, I will buy it. and kind of go through the work and try to figure out what I can extrapolate from it and put into my work. And then, look, at some point I can play it forward and let the book go, because I got what I needed out of it, So try to be experimental. And if I see someone that's doing something that I don't really understand or I can't do, sometimes it's worth kind of forcing yourself to experience it. This is great, man. It's funny too. Is now everybody, like, there's all those beautiful photos of those. I think it's in Arizona. Those kind of caves or paths that have this sort of look. Man, it's really cool. Yeah, it's beautiful. The fact that he did this by hand, like not on a computer, is really, really impressive too. It's like next level execution. That's really good too. Nice lighting. It's a really good shot. That was a great panel. Boots. This is making me want to see Travis's Metabaron book. I don't even know where mine is. I have it somewhere. One cool thing Travis actually sent me when he was working on the Metabaron book, he did the RPG book cover, and he sent me a big copy of the poster for it. It was really nice of him, and he signed it for me. I had it behind my door in my office for a long time, but I pulled it down. But that was really, really cool. It's a great piece too. It's kind of like his transition from his Wildcats painted covers to kind of what he did on the Metabaron book, and he was learning a lot, and I think he's really trying to push himself to like another level. That's a nice looking horse. It's a handsome horse. Hello, horsey. Oh yeah, these kind of things look like the Moebius birds. Okay, so we're at 16 minutes. Well, not too bad. This is a nice looking book. Man, it's a great panel too. The other thing that, like I said, I kind of touched on color, but I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out how I can do Blaster Kid and control the color. Like, 'cause I think I do want it in color, because color just creates so much mood, and I'm such a big fan of color. So it's one of those things where I've been racking my brain about like what mediums that I could use to pull it off, and maybe not necessarily have it be like a painted graphic novel, because I think I like the hard edges that pen and ink art has, If I could do digital color, somehow make it look a little more, just something a little different, not so airbrushy, that style. That's really cool. So 1992, this was a long time ago. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, we're almost at the end of this book, and then we're going to hit Bilal. Oh, that's really good. You can actually see he's getting more comfortable as he goes along. Like, the stuff looks like he did it faster, and it actually is kind of almost better, done more convincingly. Art cardio is what I always call it. Is the less you draw, the harder it is to really do the best stuff. Like, you can't, if you slow down too much and really kind of I hate to use the word overthink it, but yeah, it can be really problematic. You want to be at a high technical skill and a solid knowledge base, and then let it rip. That's my belief. Cautious art, I think, feels cautious, and I'm directing that at myself too, because I see it when I try to make it too precious. It generally doesn't look as good. It's like, don't. It's supposed to be the other way around. Okay, so we finished that book. That was cool. All right, I'm gonna pause this for 1 second, and then we'll start the Bilal book. All right, here we go. Inky Bilal. Curious to see what this is. Oh, okay. He almost looks like he uses like oil pastels. I've never really known what medium he uses, and again, I could be way off on it. I have no idea. But this one book that I got that he did later kind of had that feel. I know you want in for Super Fun Sunday. I hear you, kitty. It's not happening. I know. I tried to shoot a Super Fun Sunday last night because I had a little bit of time around 8:30, and the cats just wouldn't let me do it. It was way too loud. They wanted it in the office so bad. These aliens are trippy looking. I like that face. I was expecting this to be black and white. I'm sort of surprised that it's not. Let's see. Whoa, what the hell is that? And he's rubbing his butt. This is a nice panel right here. That's actually really good. That's cool. He did a really good job on the figure, though. It's really, really nicely drawn. Phone is getting heavy. Switch hands. Oh, this reminds me a little bit of, if you've seen Atomo Memories, there's a story that has a character that looks like that. I'd highly recommend Memories if you've not seen it. It's really, really good. Did any of you see Steam Boy? It was like kind of a big deal when it came out. I like Memories better, personally. I think somewhere I have the art book. Well, I definitely have the art book from Memories. I'm trying to remember if I bought the art book for Steam Boy. Did they do one? That's pretty cool. Yeah, this old sci-fi stuff was always really interesting. It's really cool. Kind of taking the whole page. It's a nice design page. Oh man, these are nice. Again, you can kind of like, it's interesting. You can really see these guys. They get like comfortable and really start doing some nice stuff. They're really nice colors on this too, actually. That's cool. That's a nice page. Really cool space. And here. Oh man, I love sci-fi. Oh wow, okay, so this is cool. Yeah, this is like different. This must be a different story. This will be cool. This is a little bit more what I was picturing that I thought we would see. I'll have links in the description box below for my Patreon. And again, I'll be posting the Blaster Kid intro art is public post, so you can see what I'm up to over the next few weeks on that, because I want to make sure that people are getting an idea of where it's going and what the art looks like and my thoughts on it. And again, we'll have a nice direct dialogue through YouTube. But yeah, it should be cool. Oh man, it's really good. This is really nice. This is really good. Man, there's so many good books. So much good art. Comics, man, I'm telling you. This is why we love them. Man, really, really cool page. It's really interesting seeing this stuff now, because when I originally got these books, I was really only inking, and man, when you start drawing and then you go back and you look at this stuff, it's like a whole different world. It really is, man. Like I need to revisit every single book and art thing that I have, because I see it through different eyes now. It's like totally true. And I feel that way about comics in general. I really think that right now, one of the healthiest things that any person that's a fan or even doing comics, everyone needs to hit the reset button and really look at what what social media, what the 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 retailers, what the internet offers, how to get books into your fans' hands. Everything has changed. In the old models, it's like the music industry. You have to keep it cutting edge, and you have to make sure that you're providing what people want. I really actually believe that people do want more tangible books, because that's part of the fun of having comics, is collecting them. Like, you want to have a collection of comic books. I don't think that that's just an old school belief system of like a kid who doesn't want record albums or doesn't want CDs. They only want it on their like iPhone. Comic books isn't like that, because although old records can appreciate in value, comics, it's just different. It's cool to have a bookshelf full of like really cool books that you love, and you can bust them out and you can chill in a chair or in bed and read these amazing stories. It's just a little bit of a different experience, but I think owning them is part of the fun. Collecting them, Oh, man, that guy's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that I can't read these, but again, freebies are freebies. The Incal books were actually gifts from Humanoids to me. I was friends with the owner of Humanoids back probably like in the early 2000s. And I went up to LA, where the Humanoids house was. Beautiful home. I went with Carlos Deanda and Lee Bermejo. And yeah, we went up there and we met him. I had known him before that, but yeah, he was always really nice, and he would like send me the books. So the next book that we look at was a gift from Humanoids, which is very, very cool. Man, I love the colors on this. The boots are really cool. It's got a little bit of a Corbin feel, but Corbin probably, it's cyclical. Like, it's like Moebius inspires Corbin, Corbin inspires da da da. I'm sure Moebius probably appreciated what Corbin did, because he was a great artist. It's fun. There are like families, I think, of art. Like just movements that everybody is impacting everyone. Again, that's why like hit reset and just start looking at everything with fresh eyes. See the new categories. See the new groups, the new movements and stuff like that. Because it's really, I'm telling you, in the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to change a lot. It really, really is. And I saw a funny quote online. I've seen a couple recently. I don't know. It must be on people's minds, but like, it was like I think I saw it on Tumblr, but it was like comics had been dying since 1959 or something, but they never go away. These characters are so weird. It's a nice pose with the two characters embracing. It's not too easy to do. Solid. Mm-hmm. I was getting a little tiny bit of a Simon Bisley kind of thing going on here, which again is probably Bisley influenced by Moebius, but oh man, that's so cool. Yeah, so this is Inky Bilal. I think it's Enki and then Bilal. Could Google him and see. I believe he is still alive. Jodorowsky is still alive, who wrote the next book, and also where did I put the Metabaron book? I must have set it down over there, but Yeah, Jodorowsky is getting up there. Moebius we lost, unfortunately. Yeah, that was really a bummer. Not that it probably would have ever happened, but it would have been really cool to meet him. It's like Frazetta. Always kind of regret that I never had an opportunity to go to the Frazetta Museum and at least go there when he was still alive. Not saying that I would have met him, but... This is nice. Oh, really, really nice little sequence here. Oh man, that's a great panel. Wow, that is really nice. Dude, that is really cool. Oh my god. I need to look through all these books. I know you want in. You're not coming in. Although, actually, the cat that's crying that wants in would behave by herself in here. Alright, maybe I'll let her in. And as I start this next video, let me finish this page and I'll let her. I don't know if you can even hear her, but she's crying outside the door. Please! Alright, Tom. Hey, speaking of cats, look at the robot cat. Okay, I'm going to pause this and then I'll be right back. Here. I'll give you a quick look at Sable. Sable, say hi to YouTube. You love YouTube, right? Can you say hi? I know you're not going to talk. The sun's so bright on you, can't see you. Anyway, this is one of my cats. We adopted 2 sisters. All right, so let's do this. Moebius, Jodorowsky, the Ink Cow. This is going to be a long, super fun Sunday. You're going to have to settle in for this. Oh, I had an idea for a podcast, too, that I was thinking about starting to do. I actually wrote down the name in a notebook last night. I came up with a really cool title. But I can't think of it off the top of my head. Okay, this is really cool. So we'll settle in for this. This is going to be good. What I remember about these books is this stuff is pretty simple. So we'll see if I'm right with that. It's still really, really well drawn, but it doesn't have a ton of detail, which is cool to see, because it shows you that you don't have to render everything or have tons of black everywhere and still tell pretty awesome stories. And this may be an aesthetic that some people aren't ready for yet. I can understand where if you're into American superhero comics and you see something like this, it might be a little like I don't really get it. Like, it doesn't have the same, like, the people don't look a certain way, like, you know, like it's different, but there's other things that are the draw on it. Man, this is really nice. And you know, Moebius worked in so many different styles. That was the thing with him, is he was so adaptable. It's incredible to see. He's really, really good with color. Oh man. Oh, dude, I'm so lucky that I draw. I swear, seeing this stuff and not being able to be a part of it for so long was killing me. Killed my soul. I was never happier than when I was drawing and creating stuff, and I would feel like this sort of darkness, and I wouldn't call it depression so much, but like the difference of when I'm actually like working on stuff that I'm making up and drawing versus when I'm just inking is like just completely different. And I enjoy inking. I'm not knocking it by any means. It's very fun. The collaborations are really, really exciting, and you know, working on the characters and stuff that I've worked on has been really, really cool. Sometimes exceptionally cool, but yeah, it's taking nothing and then creating something is a really, really cool feeling. And that's what we're going to experience together. Okay. This stuff gets pretty wild. My arm gets tired holding the phone for 35 minutes. Oh, yeah, yeah. I remember this. What I did also too is I haven't really announced it yet, but I actually created an Instagram account just for Blaster Kid. So I'll put a link in the description box below for that. But I eventually all this stuff will go to my main one. But what I thought I would do is just have one that's completely dedicated to the whole construction of the story. I thought it would be something fun and sort of its own time capsule of the whole experience. So it's just Blaster Kid, I think _comic on Instagram. But again, I'll have a link to it and you can check it out. I'll start uploading stuff today to it. But yeah, so there'll be a link to Patreon. You can come over for free and check out the art there. The scans will be a little bigger than Instagram, just because of the format. And then you can also sign up for Patreon if you want. And again, there's like 220 posts. There's 70 or 80 unlisted videos. It's quite worth the tip jars, whatever you can afford. And there's also tiers for people that want feedback on their art. So, if you want me to really do a review of your work, there's 2 options for that also. And they've gone great. One of the guys was nice enough to share his review. So the first 30 minutes is up. He's going to do more work, and then I'm going to review that. But yeah, you can actually see a full review of someone who's more on the front end of learning how to draw pages. But I think you can learn a lot from it. And I took his layouts and actually turned them into a pretty cool page. And something that I felt that he could do, was tangible within what he was kind of trying to do. So I think that was important too. It wasn't so much like, well, here's all these camera angles that you're never going to be able to pull off. I was able to show him with his skill level just some different choices of sizes and things like that could really make a significant difference in his layouts. And look, you develop your eye for layouts, looking at stuff like this. How someone does it right. You'll just instinctively know from looking at good art over a period of time what feels right. And you probably are learning more than you realize. But the only way that you really know it is by trying to draw out of your comfort zone, and then you really start to drum up all those memories and knowledge. It's like you can do incredible things that you might not realize that you could do. That's how these artists get so good, is they've trusted in that and they've gone for it. I'm thinking about one of these super fun Sundays. I want to do Matteo Scalera. I wanted to do his work because I think he's really, really good. He's one of my favorite, I think, comic book artists right now. Okay, so we're at 39 minutes. I think we'll do a couple more pages and I'm going to wrap it up because I need to get going on all the stuff I have to do today. I've got kind of a busy day, but we've saw a lot. So this is, we'll finish this story. We'll see how this goes. Fight scene, interesting. It's almost like storyboards. It's funny. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. You can always slow these videos down too. Like if you do the the little gear by the video. If you go in there, there's speed. You can speed videos up or slow them down. Not a lot, but it's got a little wiggle room. It's crazy. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So, all right, you all have a great day. And check the description box for some links. And yeah, tomorrow we will talk about Blaster Kid, and I'll break down sort of the challenges that I face just getting prepared for launching the thing. And as soon as I've got all my ducks in a row with that, it will get fired off. But yeah, there was no way that I could do it tomorrow and not have a large potential for a disaster on my hands. Meaning just that you know, I don't want to not be able to fulfill the orders because I totally mismanaged the campaign and the tiers and all that. Would be really dumb. So I got to come up with my perks and then check the prices on them and try to find stuff that like good shippers that are safe and aren't going to have the books damaged, and just cool things that people want. It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. So, all right, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed these books. 3 fantastic artists. We had Juan Gimenez, Moebius, and Bilal. All right, have a great day. Bye.